In Austin, Vegas.
Got our
Um,
butts kicked. Go ahead.
yes, 35 in the first quarter. Just what are some of the things that you guys have been able to improve on to make sure that you don't have those type of quarters?
I mean, a lot of this is, a little bit of pride. I think we weren't very focused there coming into a preseason game, obviously. And this league has good enough players that if you don't come to play, you're gonna get beat. So hopefully our focus is there tonight. Obviously this is a regular season; it means a lot more. But setting the tone early with our defensive physicality, our pickup points, and um, being solid on that side of the ball. The other side of the ball, I feel good about us when we're playing defense.
And then the Wings' most recent game, A's was able to have 24 points, get her shot, and the game have slowed down for her. How do you prevent a player that can shoot as well as A's to make sure she doesn't have those type of nights again?
You just want to be disruptive to her looks. She's a really great player. We know she's a great shooter. So probably not a lot of easy looks early. You have limited shift on a player like that who has such a quick trigger and she's accurate. Um, and look, when players get rolling and they get that confidence, which she's gotten, I think she's got a little swagger out there, which I like for her. They become a problem. And again, it's just pick up points. Multiple players for them could shoot it deep. She's one of them. So just making sure nothing's easy and wide open. We don't want, AZ or Paige or Arike shooting horse shots on us.
Alexa.
Becky, having faced the Wings in the preseason, obviously scouting for today, what about this new group for them, the new that's coming in, kind of stands out to you, especially not that it's completely different compared to other years, but
Yeah.
what do you think from like where they came from to now?
I mean, obviously a much improved team. They had a lot of great pieces. I think one thing that jumps out is Jessica Shepard's play. She is she kind of reminds me of Draymond Green, just that facilitator, do all that dirty work, um, get other people involved, and really the offense flows a lot through her from that 5 spot position. So she's somebody who definitely jumps out. And then obviously, the addition of AZ, just another weapon out there. I think Za has improved over this past year. She presents some problems coming in off the bench. So, just a really well-rounded team, especially offensively. If you don't guard them, they're going to ring up 120 on you. So we got to be on our P's and Q's defensively.
Lawrence?
Can you talk about what Kenny Carter's she's been scoring, has been doing really efficiently? Can you talk about what she's added to the team this season?
Efficient scoring, exactly what you said. Points, and points off the bench is something that, we kind of bring it in waves. First you got to deal with Chelsea and Jackie out there, and Liz is, I think, finding her way, and Steph is still finding her way, but ways to impact the game. And then we come with kind of this second wave of aggression that looks different than the first group. Kennedy is unique in the way that she attacks the game, approaches the rim. I don't think there's quite like anybody like her, honestly, in the world with the way she can get downhill and finish in traffic. But the other thing that we've been really working on is just she's a pretty willing passer too. So that paint and spray, she's deadly if she gets 2 feet in that paint, either with the finish or the spray out.
Okay.
I had a couple for you, Coach, if that's okay. Kind of bouncing off the defense point, with someone like Jessica Shepard that can invert the offense that way, you are a defense that generally likes to switch off the ball. The Wings don't mind poking it up pretty much anyone when they get a size mismatch. Does that mess with your approach at all in terms of the off-ball switching?
I mean, we're certainly aware of it. I think she's really aggressive when she gets switches of going down there. She's very assertive of getting involved with them offensively when she finds that mismatch. So yeah, I don't want a steady dose of our smalls on her in the post. Yeah, although it's going to happen probably throughout the course of the game. There's going to be cross matches. There's going to be times where we just get cracked and we're going to have to red. But she's somebody that definitely, I don't think you can let her quarterback the game. I think it's a mistake to not bring pressure, even though she's maybe not a 3-point shooter. You still got to guard her. It's like, you would never not bring pressure on Tom Brady. Like, oh, let's just match up everywhere else. He's still going to pick you apart. You got to put pressure on those facilitators and those handlers. And so, we'll see what we can do and kind of see, throughout the course of the game, maybe what's hurting us and make some adjustments. But coming out of the gate, we know I think she's a really critical piece for them.
Then more of a process question with this coming off of like the truncated off season and things like that. How do you navigate progress, or how do you track progress this year? Do you give more grace in light of training camp being a little shorter and things like that, or?
Um, it's more of a feel, last year before we went on our streak, I felt like we were improving, even though it wasn't always translating to wins. And so you see, first of all, the areas that you're coming up short. So, you already have a specific eye on those. So you're kind of watching those areas and like I told them last year, hey, we're getting better. We're getting better. It's not perfect yet, but we're getting better. And as long as we can stay on that road of getting better, I can work with that. As long as we're not staying in the same place or going backwards, we just keep improving. And I think we're at the standpoint right now where, we're in improvement mode. We're not a perfect product yet. We shouldn't be. There's still miscommunications, and it's not a well-oiled machine yet. And I think there's multiple teams that are like that because every year, even if you have that chemistry, us in New York who brought a big bulk of that core back. I mean, you still have to work through some things. It's not easy. And it's not easy being great. And there's always an expectation, even with New York, with us, there's always an expectation that you have to go out and blow people out. We don't. We just need to play solid basketball.
Anything else in the room before we hit Zoom? All right, Andrew on Zoom. Andrew?
Thanks, Carly, as always. Good to see you as always. Becky, first, does your hoodie say the standard? Is that what your hoodie says in terms of?
It does.
Perfect. Yeah, that's what I was wondering from the other one. Tremendous, tremendous. With Milana Smith out and them having Jose saying Maddie Seeger's going to be in the lineup, with dealing with a Watt career, with how she's been effective with them the last few games, pick and pop. You already talked about Shepherd's versatility in their screen setting. You talk about that challenge of how versatile their bigs are.
I think they're big. Maddie, obviously we know, I think is a very solid player, efficient scorer, aggressive on the offensive end. Kawera, I think, is one of those people that has improved drastically. I mean, her pick and pop is a real threat right now. Obviously, her size and her length. So we're going to have to move them around a little bit offensively, move that length. But yeah, I mean, Elena Smith too, though, she's somebody who, you're always kind of hyper aware of the pick and pop. So in ways, those are similar with Kawera pop in and coverages. But as they roll down, I think Maddie's really, efficient in the post. So they both present different problems, but I think we have a solid game plan. We got to go out and execute it at a really high level, and then we'll make our adjustments according to what's going on to the game.
Thanks.
Last question, Sophie. Last question.
Hi, Coach. Sophie Dumont here with the Ballers Magazine. I wanted to ask you about Nalissa Smith. She had a really good offensive game last game with the Sparks, also really efficient defensively. Just what's the growth that you've seen from her in terms of her assertiveness and her decision making coming into the second season with the Aces?
Well, I think for one thing, give credit to Liz because she's worked really hard in this offseason to expand her game, grow her game. But then I think it's her finding, understanding where her spots are going to come, understanding how to play off Asia, and really inserting herself and imposing her will on the game in a way that, like, I'm not calling a ton of play calls for her. Like, she's going out and making this stuff happen, and she's finding those opportunities for herself. And so really it's just a growth in the game. I think the game is slowing down. She's understanding, she's seeing the game slower. And you always kind of see that around year 5, 6 for a lot of these players. That's kind of when they kind of settle in. But there's also some real, she's watching how Asia's being covered, and a lot of times it's leaving her loose on the offensive glass. So I think her assertiveness on the offensive glass has helped us tremendously. And then obviously defense, we're always honored to stay solid, be in our system. And she got a full training camp this year. Last year she didn't. So I think, there's just a lot of really great growth areas. But the main credit needs to go to Liz on her work ethic and coming to work every day.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Coach. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.